Hi guys, it's Kinga from Wellness in Mind. So tell me, how many of you watching this video right now are absolutely hating your pain right now? How many of you are resenting the illness you're having? Or how many of you feel punished somehow for what is going on in your body? Let me tell you a story and why I ask this. Because you could ask, how is it working out for you? Isn't the fact that you are fighting against what is going on at that time not adding to your stress level and the feelings of depression you might be having? Okay, so this video is about taking another approach and seeing things from a whole different perspective. So let me tell you a story. Well, the last few weeks I suffered from an inflammation in one of the nerves in my mouth. And a few days ago I had a root canal treatment at my dentist office. And as I was lying in the dentist chair, it hurt like hell because when you have such an inflammation, then the anesthetic doesn't work quite well. So I was in real pain, and I have the ability to kind of shut myself off if I'm in a lot of pain. And it's not quite the same as dissociation, when people are able to get out of their bodies, so to speak, and not feel what's going on. It's with, for instance, people who had severe traumas like being raped or robbed or whatever. They have this kind of out of body experience. Well, with me, it's more like a kind of self-hypnosis. So I can put myself in a state where I'm a little bit dissociated from my pain. So I was lying in that chair and I was thinking to myself, well, I have a choice now. I have the choice, because this is a mechanism I control, I have the choice to get in that state of self-hypnosis and feel less pain, or not do that. And I chose to stay present, to stay with my body. And this is exactly what the conversation was between me and the pain I was feeling, between me and my body. I literally said to my body, I am here for you. It's okay. I'm not leaving you. I can handle this. We're in this together. And as I'm saying these words out loud now, I even get a little choked up, because it felt like a really strong relationship, a really strong bond that I got through, telling my body that I was there for it, even though my body was hurting me. But the way I see it is that I know very well what my body is trying to communicate with me by all sorts of ailments I've encountered in my life, everything I've experienced, from the little things to the chronic illnesses and pains I've suffered through in my life. And I know what my body was telling me. So I was able to forge how do you call it? When you a really strong bond, and my body became my ally. My body is my friend. It's not here to punish me or to make me suffer or punish me and hurt me. It does that because there is something going on, and that something, I don't mean that with inflammation it's pretty obvious what's going on, but why is that inflammation there? Why did I get that? And I would rather say, how did I attract that in my life. And I know for a lot of people, this is a concept that, they really don't want to think about, because it makes them responsible for their own pain and their own illness. And in no way I would think of accusing you of hurting yourself in that way. It's not a conscious decision. It's not like I'm choosing to, have inflammation anywhere. Okay, it happens. And the first thing I do is reach out to my body and meditate on it, surrender to it, think about it, and accept it, really. Because that gives my body the opportunity to heal, because your body has the natural capacity to heal itself, but it only does that when it's relaxed. So when you're in a state of stress and you're fighting against an illness, you're trying to suppress the symptoms and doing everything you can to fight off a disease, your body is constantly in a state of stress and it can't heal itself. So what I do is I'm surrendering, I am accepting what is happening, and I forge an alliance with my body. And that is, I think, the most beautiful and powerful thing you can do for yourself. Forge an alliance with your body. And I want to tell you another story, because I didn't just, wake up one day and thought to myself, well, let's look at these things in a different way, right? It was a long and hard process, and I was in resistance to it for, most of my life. But I remember when I was working as a psychologist. It was my second job as a psychologist, and on the surface my life was pretty great. I had a boyfriend, we had enough money to go on vacation, we both got jobs, we had pretty much everything you can think of that you're supposed to have and to be doing at that age. So everything was okay, right? And then I got really, really sick. And I got so sick that I couldn't function anymore. And it started with pain in my joints, to the point where I almost couldn't drive to work, because I had to hold the steering wheel, and I almost couldn't, it felt almost paralyzed, and I was in real pain. And it got from bad to worse. And for over 6 months, I couldn't do pretty much anything. I really wasn't able to read a book, watch TV. I couldn't do anything on the computer because it was so overwhelming. I got so stressed by it, I just couldn't handle it anymore. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't go to work. I was sleeping all day, and it was awful. It was really, really awful. And I went to several doctors. They turned me inside out. They couldn't find anything, that could explain what was happening to me. And I couldn't function anymore. And then, after those 6 months of not being able to do anything, the doctor told me he thought I had fibromyalgia. And the very, very, very first thing that immediately went through my mind was, oh, but I'm not going to do that to myself. That was my immediate reaction. Those were my exact thoughts, and I remember them to this day. It was like a decision. Okay, it stops right here. I'm not gonna do that to myself. I don't know where it came from. I just knew that this was not the way my life was supposed to be, and that I had some kind of control over it. I just didn't know what or how. So, with that decision, Obviously, I didn't cure myself, right? Okay? So let's be clear about that. It didn't change anything. But what did change was my attitude towards my life and towards my body. I understood that something was wrong. And as I said, my life on the surface was pretty great, right? Everything you could ask for. But looking back now, I wasn't happy. I wasn't doing the things I loved, and the relationship with me and my boyfriend wasn't so good. But I didn't realize it because I was, suppressing those negative feelings because my life was okay, right? I was kind of enjoying myself and everything was okay, everything was going great, we had a great social life, and everything was in place. So each time that a thought occurred, is this what you really want, or feelings of unfulfillment, I suppressed, because it felt ungrateful, and what was I doing? I didn't want to spoil what I had. But beneath the surface, I wasn't happy. I actually wasn't being me, and I would have never been able to be me in that relationship or in that job. So from that moment that I made the decision, I'm not gonna do this to myself, I started making changes. And eventually I changed everything in my life. I left my boyfriend, I had to move, obviously, and I started this quest inside. I turned to music and all kinds of things that I really loved and didn't allow myself to do before that. And ultimately I started my own practice, and that was the best decision I could have ever made. So I'm inviting you to look from a different perspective to your body, and my body always tells me that I'm not being honest to myself, or I'm not trusting myself enough, or I'm not loving enough to myself. So I'm inviting you to look at your ailment, illness, pain from this perspective and see what you can find. Thank you for watching, and if you like this video, please share it with your friends, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye!